Let's go. Go. Smash that like button, guys. Get it started. Smash that like button. Turn it up. Turn it up. Let's run it. All right. What's good? What's good, everybody? Let's get it going. Smash that like button. Let's get it going. It's time for the show. Let's go. All right. So, it's your boy Kari.HQ here, back again with another one. Today, we have some very unfortunate events coming out of the United States of America we're going to talk about. So, y'all probably already know what I'm referring to. If you haven't seen this shocking piece of video yet, it's something else, man. It's something else. So, it looks like a young lady was taken out today in Minneapolis, Minnesota, I believe, and what looked like an attempt to get away from ICE officers. ICE officers, guys. So unfortunately, the officer that was in front of the car when she tried to speed off, he pulled out his pistol, pointed it at the lady, and let her rip. So that's what happened, guys. Let's just watch a little bit of this video, and then we can talk about it a little bit because this is nuts. So as you can see here, the ICE officers approach. I'll pause it for a second. You see them on the approach. This is the lady in the car right here. I saw a video actually where they showed a few seconds before this, but there was another car right here that took off already. But anyway, let's just watch this and see what happens next. I'll put the volume. Walked up, pulled on the door. So you got this guy pulling on the door, and the officer, that's not the one that shot her. There's another one that is behind the car. So let's slow it down to half speed. Take a look. Boom. You see he pops out over here in front of her car. She starts going forward. Gun comes out. Gun is pointed at her right now. She's going forward. He's shooting. There's an innocent bystander on this side of the car, which is a dangerous shot because anytime you have like a person in your backstop, that's dangerous. But anyway, boom, he's shooting. You can see the flashes come off the windshield. It came around and came up to the car and whatnot. Anyway, the basis is the same, man. This is like a very scary thing to see in the United States of America right now. I want to basically just tackle a couple of the questions that immediately came out of this shooting. What does this mean for federal agents, like firing at moving cars? Is this going to be like the new world where anything goes? Because it seems like in this new America, when I refer to new, I'm speaking of since Trump took office, it seems like there is like no rules, anything goes. And it seems like we're getting closer and closer and closer to like where the police don't even ask questions no more. They just come out guns a-blazing at you. And you have no, recourse. You have no get back. There's nothing. Because trust me, this lady is not even gonna, she's not, or I should say the guy that shot her is not even gonna go to court for this, And to be quite honest, I don't think that what he did necessarily doesn't fit into the law. Like, I think he was legally, you know, allowed to shoot her in that situation, but there was just a million different ways he could have de-escalated it before he took her life. Like that was like, yeah, you could do that, but like that's going to the extreme very fast. Let's go into the extreme very fast. So it makes me question, like, man, what is going on in America? What's life like in America right now? It doesn't look like it's getting any better for the average citizen. And the more of this type of things that we see, it just makes me happy that I left a long time ago. Like, honestly, um, because I don't think something like this would happen in Colombia necessarily. Like, actually, I think it could happen in Colombia. I'm tripping because the cops, but the cops like out here, it takes a lot for them to shoot somebody. Like they'll only really shoot at somebody if they know they're like a dangerous criminal. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna shoot just to de-escalate something. That's kind of the difference, in my opinion. But whatever is going on in America right now, it is insane because this is probably going to lead to even more riots and more crazy things happening. And it already seems like it's one thing after another. Just this week, we had, the thing in Venezuela, and we're already having like a big cultural event here with this ICE shooting, right? Because this all goes into the big thing with ICE. For whatever reason, there seems to be a big divide in the country about, is it okay to deport people? And to me, I'm gonna just be honest, on my standpoint, like I don't have a problem with the ICE agents deporting people, going, but like I don't know what it's like in the neighborhoods, to be honest, like because I don't know what these people are out here like mad about. Like, do you not want the immigration law to be enforced, or is it how they're enforcing it? Is it the fact that they're going and picking out random people? I mean, they have to do it somehow, right? And the people are obviously not going to just come out and volunteer to be deported. So eventually they're going to have to chase people down. And so you're going to have these situations where, someone gets in front of a car, an agent, and to me, she could have just been scared, like, because the guy pointed the gun at her, and her first instinct could have been just to hit the pedal and try to get out of there because she was turning the wheel. You can see the front wheel was like turned all the way to the right. So she was trying to avoid the guy, but it could have just been one of the things where like the gun was pointed at her face and she could only think of doing one thing, and that was to react and take off. So a very sad situation, very sad situation. I don't know what the kids are going to do. They're saying that this woman has 3 kids, guys. So just imagine you start your day normal. You have no idea that you're not going to make it back home that night, right? So you go out, maybe she took her kids to school this morning, dropped them off, kissed them, thinking that she would see them again. And they, obviously had no idea that they would never see their mom again. So it's just like tragic stuff like that that makes the whole story a lot worse. And it just, to me, is a very clear indicator of like the divide that we have in this country about immigration. And I feel like at some point, the nation has to kind of pick, like, do we want to get rid of people that's been in the nation for a long time? At some point, like we can't keep like fighting the ICE agents and then the ICE agents killing the citizens. And we have to have like a clear direction that the nation is going to go in, which you could argue there is a clear direction right now, which is like deport, deport, deport. But anytime you have something like that, that's a clear message and what we're going to do, there's always going to be people like this that want to come into the situation and aggravate the situation and fight for the other side. And so that's what we saw happen here, guys. It's like clearly, there might be a lot of people that agree with these deportations. I think most of the people in America agree with these deportations, but no matter what, even if we have a almost unanimous disagreement, there's always going to be, people that come in and try to agitate the situation. And so this 36-year-old woman lost her life over pretty much nothing, guys. And, unfortunately, the 3 kids that she had are never going to see their mom again. And that's just like a horrible situation all around. But what does this say about the United States, man? What's it like living in the United States that something like this could happen? And I don't think anybody can argue that she was really trying to attack that officer. I really think that she was trying to get away. So we've already seen where they're painting the narrative to be, more so that she was attacking the ICE agent, and it's been called like an act of domestic terrorism and all this type of stuff. So it's just crazy, like the fact that they're turning the narrative around in that way to make it seem, like it's really her fault. So to really display that, we could listen to the words of the ICE director actually right now. Let me see, because she just had a speech. Let me see. What's her name? What's the ICE director name? It's like a female. Excuse me 1 second. Yeah, guys, this is like a super sad situation. All right, I found it. So, all right. Yeah, let's just take a look at this. Share my screen. All right.
Weather that is in Minneapolis. They
All
were
right, so
attempting to push out their vehicle. About a shooting that we just had. You asked about a shooting that we just had in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened, it was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the
she already said it was an act of domestic terrorism.
officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle.
She said that the lady attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. I do not think that was the case, guys. I really do not think that was the case at all. I don't think that. I think she was literally just trying to get out, swerve, just get out of there. Like she didn't want to talk to the police.
An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased. We're continuing to gather more information, but this goes to show the assaults that our ICE officers and our law enforcement are under every single day.
And then she goes on to say, this shows the assault and, all the pressure that our officers are under every single day. So you got two completely different perspectives here. Obviously the protesters, the liberals, most liberals, especially the ones that were kind of at that situation cheering her on, are gonna feel like she was murdered in cold blood, right? And the people on the side of ICE, obviously Trump has already come out and said that, he thinks that it was on her. the driver of the car. So we're seeing two different sides, and man, it's just going to be a mess, like it always is in the United States of America. And I really think the right is going to win this argument. I don't think the left has a lot to stand on in this argument. And it seems like as of recent, the momentum has often gone on the side of like Trump. Like Trump is running with it right now. He's got all the momentum in the world, especially coming off of, this Venezuela thing. And it's a scary thing because it seems like no matter what, this administration does, it seems like they're pretty much unstoppable. And I've never seen a presidential or a president with that much momentum, guys. It's very scary. And what you guys don't see is what's like the bigger picture. Like this type of thing is going to become normalized and more. It already is normalized. Like it's just like, okay, now it's a white female. That's not normal. Usually it's a black person or something else, right? But this time it's a black female. I guarantee the narrative is going to be different because of that. But what it shows to me is just that we got a lot of problems in the United States of America. And it's just like the Trump administration has all the power in the world right now. And so I don't think people are understanding that, the more this gets normalized and the more things that are going to happen in the next 3 years, that I think we might finish this administration with like way less rights as people in the United States. Like it's getting to the point where it's like, if you gonna talk out and say anything against Trump, you're gonna be met with violence. You're gonna be met with, lawsuits or whatever. You know what I mean? So anytime like you do something that fits within that narrative of MAGA and Trump, you're pretty much good. So, okay, you just, some ICE officers just committed a murder in the middle of the street, in Minneapolis, but it fits within the ICE initiative. So they're pretty much covered. Now, I'm not saying he was necessarily wrong, because to me, like, that does fit the description for self-defense. To me, it does fit the description for self-defense, like low key. I'm just being honest. A lot of people wouldn't want to say that, you know what I mean, or will be mad that I said that. But to me, it fits the description of self-defense. And she, but it's like, bro, in terms of having compassion for the next American, or, you're someone out here serving Americans and have zero compassion for an American citizen, and you say, oh, well, she was trying to kill me, or, I don't think that's the case, bro. I think that's a case of taking one thing and turning it into another. To say that lady was trying to kill the ICE officer, bro, I think that's a stretch. I really think that's a stretch. I don't think we can say that, like, I don't think we could say that. So let's go to the comments. I'm gonna drop this in the chat. If anybody wants to join the discussion, it's your boy Card at HQ. We're talking about the ICE shooting today that happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And it's just a mess, man. It's just a mess. I hate to see this happen to the good old US of A, but it shows you that the matrix just is not safe, is not really the place to be for me, because this could happen to anybody at any moment. Like, the cops are so violent in the United States. Like, they really, take control. It's hard to explain to people in the United States, like, why the situation with the police in Colombia is like better. It's like the police will never be on the side of the street, like just like looking with a speed gun to try to give you a ticket, right? what the only thing the cops do really in South America is they have like roadblocks. So you could easily end up in like a roadblock in South America, and the cops might search you or whatever. But like if you start fighting with them, bro, I highly, highly doubt they're gonna shoot you. Like they'll probably just beat the shit out of you or something like that. But this is the shooting, like in the United States, like, but this is what comes with like all the guns, you know what I mean? Like the cops have to move in a certain way in the US because almost everybody has a gun. Like here, most people don't have a gun. Very few people have a gun. So it's just a little bit different, but it seems hard to me to live in the United States, like with the main factor of that being like just feeling like, bro, like I'm so insignificant in the United States. Like something could happen to me, I could lose my life in a way that's like not my fault, that's clearly someone else's fault, or it could just be a misunderstanding or whatever, and I'm not gonna get justice for it. It's just like, whatever. Like this woman, right? And the one that was killed in Minneapolis today, there really is no justice to be served, right? Because technically, if you want to take it there, you can say she attacked the ICE officer. So, what justice is there to be served? But like to me, that was wrong. That was wrong. So we do have like a weird gray area in this situation where it's like it's hard to say. It's hard to say. And these are the issues that really test like a president and a presidency, because now all eyes are on Donald J. Trump. Like people want to see what you're going to do if you of anything. And to me, I can tell you right now, Trump is 100% behind the ICE agents. Like there, don't expect no statement, of even compassion from Trump. Like unfortunately, right now we have a president that just doesn't talk or portray himself like one of us. It just seems like we have a president that is, his own, he's part of his own class up there with the elite, right? Just call it what it is, you know what I mean? So to expect, for our president to speak out against something when this fits within his agenda, we all know that the agenda is deportation, the highest number of deportations that is possible. You know, if you pay attention to politics, you know that that's something that's important for Trump. And so, obviously, if he shows compassion in this situation, that's going to make it that's going to mean that ICE agents are going to have to change how they're doing things going forward. And it's only going to make things harder for them to meet the goals of what this current administration wants to do. So just because of that, don't expect, our president to actually come out and want to, be on the side of the compassionate in this situation. Like it's gonna be a pretty hard, like, she was wrong. She was wrong. She got what she deserved. And by the way, the rest of the American public, this could happen to you if you get in the way of ICE. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all we're gonna get from this president. And so, hey, I think it's a lot of good, a lot of bad with Trump. It's just a lot of good and a lot of bad with Trump. And like nobody's perfect, but like I think it's clear that for the majority of the American people, it's tough to watch that video and see someone get shot down like that. And I think most people would agree, like it didn't have to happen like that. Like the the dude could have just moved out the way, bro. and
You asked.
they could have chased her down the street or something like that, you know? Like, they definitely didn't have to do that. Like, if you're just joining, let's get back into it. You know what I mean? So you can't tell me that it was 100% necessary, like, for that. Because again, like I said, he could have just moved out the way, and they both could, you know, fight another day, chase her down the street, take her license plate. You know what I mean? But it didn't go that way. You know, we see that more often. But the fact that he did it to like a white lady, whew, that's kind of surprising. I ain't gonna hold you, but either way, what's going on in the United States, man? What the baby's gonna do? What the kids gonna do? That's my question.